Hello, and welcome to You Haven't Played, where we play the games that we have not played. Asterisk. And we are playing Vampire the Masquerade.
For the first time.
How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Doing good, Jeremiah.
That is great to hear. So we got Ryan for us on this one, and what a delight, because he is the knowledgeable one about the universe that we're about to get into here. So Vampire the Masquerade is based on the Dark World.
Do you want me to talk about it, Jeremiah?
Yeah. The Dark World.
The world is dark.
This game, Vampire the Masquerade hyphen Bloodlines, is because there was another one, Redemption. Redemption's bad. Don't play it.
We're playing it.
I mean, we can play it. Dear viewer, don't play Redemption. Like, you can if you really want to, and I know it has its fans, but it's not very good. Bloodlines, though, is a good game. So this is based on the Vampire the Masquerade tabletop role-playing property from White Wolf, and that is set in the World of Darkness, which is a kind of modern, urban, supernatural horror setting. So in this game, they try to touch on a lot of those themes. They don't translate 100% from more of an intimate tabletop role-playing experience into what's basically an action shooter RPG. But you'll see some references to these things, you know, what makes a man a monster, and how to function in this society. So, Vampire.
Right. Well,
Let's do it.
Spooky.
Bit of a disclaimer, I've played a hot minute of this game, so I kind of know what I'm doing for the first part. I still don't know what I'm actually doing, but I am familiar with seeing certain things. So let's start a new game, and I guess it's only right that I answer these questions again.
Oh, are you gonna maybe get a different...
Maybe I'll get something different.
I mean, you could just make a character.
Oh,
just
that's
get in
lame.
it. All right.
Alright, so I'll be male.
If you do go to the creator, it'll let you see all the different character models, and they're pretty cool. But we can do the questions.
Alright, and these are different questions, too.
There's a pretty big list of questions that you can potentially get.
Alright, cool. So, while in a club, you spot your ex-roommate who skipped out after taking your stuff and leaving you with a stack of bills. He looks dead drunk. Do you grab him by the head and repeatedly bash his face into the bar, or call the cops, see you in court, buddy?
What do you think? Murder or words?
I think I'm gonna call the cops, because then I get accused of murder, and then that, you know, two wrongs don't make a left. A bouncer at the opening of an exclusive nightclub won't let you inside to the party with all the beautiful people. Do you convince him you work for that director, you know who, and you'll bring him out with you next time? Hide out by the back exit, wait for someone to leave, then slip in undetected? Or bribe him? Everyone's got their price, and it's worth it to get to know the kind of people inside.
There's no go home and read a book option.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Jeremiah.
Okay. So, I would probably sneak in. Okay. It's late. You're at the red spot, waiting for your microwave burrito to heat up. There are 3 arcade games to waste some time on. Which do you play? The fighting game. I pull off a triple flash uppercut as the finisher every time. That beat 'em up game where you pick up the bat and womp on the hordes of generic thugs, or that sniper game with the realistic gun for a controller. Well, in real life, I actually would play 1 or 3.
Actually, I really dislike the games with the
With the gun controllers.
sniper on.
I have so much fun with those.
Well, it's because
I mean,
you
I
don't
like
have a big
House of
hard-on for guns.
Yeah. Well,
That's who those are for. I mean, I like them because it's an interesting technical challenge to like actually do it. But yeah, those games aren't for us. We don't want to go like, you
yeah,
know,
it's true. I'll
brandish our weapon at someone in a shopping mall or whatever.
Yes, I'll go with this fighting game. So I do like fighting games. You're in a convenience store, looking through the beer freezer, when all of a sudden a man walks in and pulls a gun on the cashier. Do you? I tried to do this one before. Again, I'm just gonna lock myself in. You're at the nightclub, having a damn good time. When you realize you're out of money, no cash, no fun. Do you seduce somebody? Time it just right so you can snatch a bottle, or go. Oh, I can still go home and read a book. Nice.
Excellent.
The new neighbor is gorgeous, and you want to see a lot more of them. Do you turn out the lights, put on dark clothing, mount the video camera on a tripod, and wait for the show to begin? Or have a romantic dinner with soft music and some mood lighting? Nature will take its course.
There's no go home and read a book answer, right?
No, it's go home and watch your video feed from your fucking stalking secret camera.
All right, I'll take the less stalkery one.
Yes.
The world is a cruel and unforgiving place, but you've gotten by so far. Why? I live alone. I don't need others. Just me, my dog, and to hell the rest. Or it may be cruel for you, but for me, it's hilarious. Well, I like dogs. Fuck everybody else. I am Gangarel.
There you go.
Some kinds.
Oh boy.
Sometimes called nomads, loners, and introverts.
Losers.
Sometimes called the loser clan. Starting shit.
The gangrels spurn the trappings of civilization and prefer to roam the wilds in solitude, known for having an uncanny connection with the beast within. Some learn the power to shapeshift. Ooh, I can shapeshift? Your vampire's attributes and abilities now have been determined. Okay, cool. So,
Yeah, so this is over the character.
I don't need to do that again.
Click through
Yeah,
help text.
I can skip through the text.
So your 3 disciplines you have as a gangrel, you've got animalism, which in this game, like, summons spectral animals. You basically make like little short-term summons that show up and fight things for you.
I can summon ravens. That's cool.
Yeah. So the ravens are a stun, and then some of the later ones do damage or like do other things. You have fortitude, which is just straight up damage prevention. It just makes you take less damage while it's on.
Cool stuff.
But you do have to activate it. And then Protean is shapeshifting. So the first dot gives you a wits bonus.
Heat vision.
I don't know if in the game it actually like gives you infravision or something. I think it does.
It says you gain heat vision with +1 bonus to wits.
Yeah. In the tabletop game, it lets you see in the dark, is the thing Gleam of Red Eyes does. So I don't know in this game. But the later levels of that let you like grow claws or turn into a big wolf man or do some other kind of wild shit.
So it sounds like I'm gonna beat the hell out of people.
Stacking into Brawl is pretty legit as a gangrel. If you want to use melee weapons, that's also valid, but your Protean stuff is going to stack into Brawl.
Okay.
Animalism's pretty much point and click.
I can't go past 1. Okay.
You need to unclick dodge there. So it's the abilities are broken up into columns, and so your skill dots are based on which column they're in. So you only have 2 points in talents. So if you want more Brawl, you're going to have to lose that dot of dodge.
Okay. Well, dodge is useful, right? Yeah.
You have fortitude?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just take the damage, man. Punch.
All right, and then these.
Yeah, security is legit because that ups your lock picking.
I was picking a lot of locks last game, so I'll do that.
There's a lot of locks.
All right, fuck computers.
The big ones are going to be so scholarship and finance are the ones with like the most mechanical implications because scholarship ups your persuasion. And lets you read better books, skill books.
Yeah, I want to be an intelligent savage. So.
And then finance, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically haggle from any other game.
Killing people.
Should you take
money.
2? Can you move one of those dots over to Protean?
You can move that fortitude dot, the one that's lit up.
Yeah, and get the feral claws.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So feral claws aggravator damage doesn't matter against humans. But it does matter against other supernatural creatures. Doing aggravated damage will hurt them more.
Okay.
Cool.
So this looks good. What's wits? Defense.
Wits is solid. It ups your defense.
But
your other options would be intelligence ups your your research and your intimidation. So,
Yeah, and then I can get three in strength, or I can get that. Well, since I can't dodge for shit, I might want that stamina point anyway. I think this looks fine.
I would throw that third dot into strength. Just min max
All right,
it.
we're being big boys.
You'll
Yeah,
be fine.
and the return of Bob Smith,
Heck
Bob
yeah.
Smith,
the
every game.
fisticuffs.
And if you hover the clan symbol up by your name, I think it'll tell you. No, it won't. Never mind.
Okay.
All
right,
I thought it would tell you your clan weakness, but
let's get this show on the road again.
yeah, man.
The Embrace. Gonna have sexy time with Sire. So, which edition is this one based off of?
So this game came out after the old World of Darkness game line ended. So this would be based on 3rd edition Vampire or revised. Basically the most recent editions until they started putting out the 20th anniversary ones.
Okay. And did the
Is this-
patent patches... Oh my god, I have dreads. I look like the lead singer from... fuck. Who is
Korn.
it? No, not Korn.
Like any reggae band.
What is it? What's the band? Counting Crows. That's
Oh my god, you do. Yeah, the Gangrel PC looks like a fucking hobo. Like, he's just,
I miss my disco.
He's so gross.
Or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening. It's unfortunate that the affair that gathers us together tonight is a troubling one.
We got this
Mostly because the
Final
laws that
Fantasy
bind
looking
our
guy.
society, the laws that are
Yeah.
the fabric of our existence.
You've got to be like a real deep World of Darkness fan to have any idea what's up with the sheriff, that dude with the giant sword,
The privilege of silence.
because he
Many
isn't
have
like a
come
normal
to
kind of
seek
vampire,
and I have
which is
endorsed
why he can
some
do a
of
bunch
your
of like
requests.
wonky ass shit.
Oh wait, is that
The accused that sits before you tonight was not refused
that's
permission.
Jeanette's sister? Now
Indeed,
looking at this
My
cutscene again.
permission was never sought.
Yes, all of these characters show up later.
Caught shortly after the
So
embrace
everyone
of
in this
child.
cutscene, except for the people that
It
die.
pains me to announce the sentence.
Oh, she's new
Or,
looking too.
Tonight I consider
She's.
the
I guess this is the
accused
like
a loyal and upstanding member of
the
our
female Gangrel
organization. But as some of you may know,
sire.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
penalty for this
So
transgression
little behind the scenes knowledge. Whichever character
is
model
that I
you
am no
pick,
more adjudicator than
you'll
I am
get
a
the
servant
opposite
to the
gender
law
one
that governs us all.
of that clan as your sire,
Let tonight's proceedings
and then
Oh,
it's
oh,
always the
that's
same like
community. We must adhere
stake
to the
party that shows up
guidelines of our
to
society.
take you guys to the prince, unless you pick the clan of one of those character models, because they're recycled models.
Forgive me.
So like that grody dude standing behind
Let
your
the
character
penalty
is the
commence.
male Nosferatu model. And then this guy, I think, is the Ventru question mark.
Which leads to the fate of the ill-begotten.
But yeah, unless you pick one of them,
Without
then
the sire,
it's the same
most
guys that always show
children are
up.
doomed to walk the earth
That's
never
kinda cool.
knowing their place, their
Reusing
responsibility,
models efficiently.
Most importantly,
Yeah, it's pretty good because they don't show up anywhere else in the game. The
therefore,
player character
I have
models.
decided.
It's a
This
good
is
use of
bullshit.
resources. Yeah, you tell them nines. But yeah, all of these characters you can go find again later in the game.
If Mr.
Like,
Rodriguez
for,
will let me finish,
When did we say this came out?
I have decided.
2000
This came out in
2004?
2002, I believe.
2002?
Shall be
Yeah.
instructed in the ways of our kind
Pretty
and
ambitious
be granted the
use of
same
NPC
rights.
resources.
Let no one say I am unsympathetic.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Filter's head.
We talked about this in the stream, but I guess we can talk about it here again.
And I
This
hope
is
their
this is
significance
the
not lost.
this is the source engine. This is the
This came out the same day as Half-Life 2.
It did using the same engine, and while
It did
halftime
just as well.
Half-Life 2 was a proof of product that got amazing reviews. This game fell under the radar.
Your sire.
Yeah.
Tragic. My apologies. But you see,
I read
there
an
is a
interview
code of
once with
conduct that all of us must-
one of the White Wolf guys
must
Uh-huh.
who said that every now and then Activision will call them up and be like, hey,
When someone
Why are people still buying this
breaks
game?
these laws, they undermine the
Like,
well-known
what the
fact of
fuck?
our centuries-old society.
This is one of our most consistent, like, dead game sellers. Like, every now and then there will
Allowing
just
you
be
to
a
live
ton of
makes
Steam
you
sales.
directly responsible for your
Whenever it's on sale, everyone's like, "Oh man, Vampire
What I'm
the
offering is
Masquerade
not
Bloodlines. You gotta get
generosity.
that one."
Yeah.
The opportunity
I got the same hip
transcends
wiggle that.
woven by
You
laws.
look like a
like-
jackass.
This
Yeah, well, you
Like-
need to get some new clothes, dude.
What in the nine?
Can I get a new haircut,
That,
dude?
man.
You cannot get a new haircut, unfortunately.
All right, looks like Mr. Jones over here is gonna.
I also have personally never played through this game as a gangrel, so I don't know if it gets any better because all the armor sets and like new clothes sets are tailored for each model. Each player character model has a different clothes set. So I don't know if you just have this shitty aesthetic and that's just going to be true forever.
So this is Smiling Jack, right?
Yep, Smiling Jack the Anarch,
Voiced by Bender.
John DiMaggio.
John
Yep.
DiMaggio. Bender / Jake / the Joker from Under the Red Hood.
Bacon pancakes.
Who are you?
I'm Jack. What's important is I'm offering help. You make it back.
This game has
Monica with your hide and we'll trade life.
some like not exactly like A tier voice actors, but like A- tier voice actors.
Yeah. Consistent tier voice actors, like recognizable
Yeah.
voice
It's got
actors.
like the cast of Futurama in it. I mean,
So if I said
Yeah.
just give me the basics, it goes a lot faster. Or
Yeah, if you say just give me the basics, or if you say I don't need anyone's help, he'll ask if you're sure, and then you can just leave. So it's up to you how much of the tutorial you want to do.
well, I'm slightly different now, so I'm fine with doing the tutorial again.
Okay.
So
Yeah, if you
Why don't we
I like it where I am, at least out of the theater.
stuff you in there, huh? This is much better. Now we ain't got much time, but I figure somebody should fill you in on the bare bones stuff at least, you know.
So you're saying that Smiling Jack is not the paragon saint of the world, right?
well, he's an anarch,
Man, we're buying
um,
Jerry here.
much like the guy that yelled bullshit in the theater, which means that they are kind of anti-establishment vampires. But Jack is kind of the poster child for like the iconoclast archetype of the anarchs.
Down around the corner there.
He starts a lot of shit.
So we can't find his car. All right,
And
down there, casual.
so the Anarchs are part of the mass. They still take place or take part in the masquerade, unlike the Sabbat.
Yes, the Sabbat have their own kind of like fucked up version of the masquerade. But the anarchs are basically conscientious objectors to like vampire high society, like all this political nonsense. They're invited but don't really care.
Oop.
And so they don't get all the benefits. Oh, it's time for hacks.
No, I'm not interested in cheating.
the God mode activated.
Yes, no clip through the level. But yeah, so the Camarilla is the main vampire organization. That's who was holding that party we just left. And the Anarchs are like an offshoot of them. Basically, in the setting, some shit went down, and vampire society split into these 3 groups.
That was close.
One of them is the Camarilla. They're kind of your stereotypical like dudes in capes and suits, and they're like, "Oh yes, we are vampires.
Hell yeah.
Must be spooky and secret."
I can see it in your
All this
eyes.
shit.
You're a born-again predator. Feeling that blood.
The Anarchs are like, being secret is fine, but we don't care about this like stuffy
It's all about right
traditionalist hidebound nonsense. I'm just gonna kind of live my life, man.
You're feeling all kick-ass, feeling
And then the Sabbat are like, being a vampire is the best shit ever. We should be in charge. Let's go eat some mortals.
our word for vampire.
Yeah, let's eat some people, right?
Yeah.
Set them right square above humans on the food chain.
So I have a passing knowledge of the clans from from you guys. So what's the one that like just like ate another clan and are like the mafia?
Oh, so there are a couple of clans that ate other clans.
Yeah, it's half the clans.
Yeah. The Giovanni are, I think, who you're thinking of. They're like Italian. They're mobsters. You actually, later on this game, we go to a Giovanni manor, and it's a good time.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Can you be a Giovanni in this game?
You cannot. This game only has the core Camarilla clans, core 7.
So is it Nosferatu, Gangrel,
Bruja, which is what Jack is. The Tremere.
Is he?
Jack?
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Oh.
He's obviously.
Yeah. What do we say? Nosferatu, Gangrel, Bruja, Tremere, Ventru, Malkavian, and there's one more that I am spacing on. Toreador. Yeah.
What have you gone through this game as?
I've played all the way through as a Toreador, a Malkavian, a Bruja, and I've gone through most of a run as a Nosferatu, but it's fucking hard.
Because everyone kind of notices that you're a fucking horrific-looking vampire.
Yeah, you can't really go like do any of the normal mortal shit. So like you can't talk to the shop owners. You can't just like wander around the street finding people to feed on. You can't talk to a lot of the side quest people.
So you gotta be like super stealth mode.
Yeah.
No time for political rundown. Job one, get out of here alive.
So for those who don't know,
it's basically the game on hard mode. Oh, go ahead.
What Ryan's talking about is this game. You have a strike system, which is supposed to be the masquerade, in which vampires don't really like it when you start exposing their world to the plebs. So you get 5 strikes in this game if you compromise the masquerade, and after that you just lose.
Yep. You can get additional masquerade violation tokens. There are things you can get to repair the masquerade, and they'll give you back a violation. If you fuck up, though, like, it just kind of makes the game harder. I guess I shouldn't talk about it too much, just in case you do it, and then we can get into it.
Yeah.
All right, we gotta vamoose out the back quick.
I guess.
If you
Watch out. You
No, go for it.
if you lose all your masquerade violations, it is a game over. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say this. I guess the tutorial. Jack, come on, man.
Oh no, his hitbox is too big.
Can we like soft lock the game?
You're gonna have to cheat. There he goes. And I think your lockpicking will be high enough to do it. I don't think you'll have to. Yeah.
Cool.
Jack is a pretty nimble fellow. I don't
Yeah,
even see.
just-
I don't even see a broken window. So.
I think it's the one next to him.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Shortcut. Well, nicely done though. Not exactly an
But
angel of life.
a fun trivia.
Now, if you want a lesson on how really not to act, take notes from those Sabat assholes.
That WWF
Yeah, great.
during the late 2000s, apparently to reach out to LARPers, I guess, they had a vampire wrestler, and his name was Gangrel.
It's the
Yeah.
same reason you don't let humans see
and
you fishing. It's why the wolf
his-
Was
doesn't want the sheep to
Was
know
that a
he's there.
paid sponsorship?
It
or like
is actually a paid sponsorship. So from about 1998 to about 2000, when they pulled Gangrel from the roster, at the end of all the credits, you would always see White Wolf Productions at the end of the credits, because they had to pay for the name Gangrel.
We're living in the age of cell
Yep.
phone cameras.
So-
Cops ain't tolerated.
And Gangrel, I don't know if you've seen him, Ryan. He does not look like a Gangrel.
I have. People in the White Wolf scene are not particularly happy about that whole thing. Just because they didn't do a great job conveying like anything that makes the World of Darkness or Vampire the Masquerade unique in vampire stuff. Like it's a compared to a lot of things of its time, you know, late 80s, early 90s, like supernatural stuff. Masquerade's pretty different. Like it's pretty wild because it has this focus on this like internal struggle. It has a focus on like characters being very individual. And at the time you had things like Lost Boys where it's like, oh yeah, this is just about a bunch of dudes who turn into blood-sucking monsters and they're assholes and they all have the same exact power set and the same exact shit going on. And like it's very homogenous. And so then, you know, WWF made Gangrel, and he just did like homogenous, boring, stereotypical vampire shit.
Yes, he drank blood, which all vampires do.
Yeah.
He came out in a ring of fire, which is kind of cool.
Which is not a thing that would happen in Masquerade, because vampires are afraid of fire.
And then he did like he actually hung around with two other guys. They were called the Brood, Edge and Christian.
Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Who would both go on to be very, very popular wrestlers in their
wrestling.
own right.
Is there anything you can't do?
But
there is not anything that wrestling can't do.
But the great thing about wrestling is just if a storyline goes bad, they just drop it. It's like it doesn't matter. Like Edge and Christian were vampires. Well, Edge started off as not a vampire, and then he became a vampire, and then he wasn't a vampire anymore.
Yep. And then didn't they all sign up with the Ministry of Darkness for a while?
Yes, they were part of the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. Who Undertaker was like Satan or Satan's little helper or something like that. And
I mean, let's not sell Undertaker short. His shit is wild. Like
during this period, you know, he would like he crucified Stone Cold Steve Austin, tried to embalm him. Then he I think it's WrestleMania 15. I think he hanged the Big Boss Man live on television. That was fun. So you know, great for his image and everything.
Yeah.
It's just one of those time periods of wrestling that everyone talks about how amazing it is, and it was. It was absolutely fantastic how batshit crazy that era of wrestling is.
Well, when you're on non-stop kilo upon kilo of cocaine.
Well, the cocaine era was more of like the 80s.
Like the 80s, yeah.
It's always the cocaine era in wrestling, man. It's a never-ending train.
You kill one, even a worthless bum, even by accident.
But I just think it's always fun to talk about Gangrel to someone who's a fan of White Wolf, because usually it's an eye roll and that's a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was.
I mean, at the very least, they made him beefy and like not afraid of shit, and that's very Gangrel.
He also had a poofy shirt.
Oh, damn! You are.
Yeah.
You're trying.
Quite as good, huh? You can do worse.
So he did not really look like. I don't think anyone in. Do any of the clans really go into like poofy shirts?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the Toreador are Anne Rice vampires. They're all about like ennui and existence is suffering, so I have to make art about it, and you know their tragic romance that is existence in this unlife. Yeah, they're real into puffy shirts. And then the Ventru tend to have a lot of like old ass traditionalist vampires, and they're like, yeah, I've been wearing puffy shirts since 1690.
Ain't gonna
It's
stop
still
now.
in, still fashion.
I forget what it actually has a name. I forgot what it's called. I
The
learned.
puffy shirt.
Yeah, I learned from. No, it's like a wraparound for your shirt.
Down. Got someone around the way here.
I don't.
And I guess we'll figure more about puffy shirts next time.
Yeah, that time.
So see y'all next time when we continue ignoring Smiling Jack's tutorial and talking about White Wolf. All right, see you guys.
All right, peace.
Bye.